Good afternoon, traders, prudent speculators. This is Trader Rod, VPT Live. Want to start out with our disclaimer. Just remind everyone that, that's a disclaimer for a different company. I'm going to do this one there. That my broadcasts here are for educational purposes. Nothing's meant as a solicitation to buy or sell any security. Trading, especially in derivatives, which is what I discussed, is extremely risky. It's not suitable for all investors. I very much encourage everyone to go to vptlive.com/notices for more information about our risk disclosures and disclaimers. All right, let's start out tonight by wishing everybody in the eye of the storm or in the storm's path safety tonight. Make sure you're prepared for that. I'm out here on the West Coast. I don't want to rub it in. It's a beautiful fall, autumn kind of day here on the West Coast. All right, I was bitching and moaning on Twitter the other day. Funny, coincidental, ironic. Complaining on Twitter about Twitter. I left about $11,000 to $15,000 on the table, somewhere in there if I had held my whole position, and yet I did a whole broadcast on how I was okay getting rid of most of it at 23. So today, the different story, right? The bidders back off, and look at that, Twitter down about 20%. So let me tell you, I couldn't resist, got back in, and picked up 400 shares of the stock. I paid $20.82, so definitely didn't get the low, closed below 20. And then a little later went back into the December 20 calls, and my average price on that is pretty decent. It's about 232. So those were over 5, of course. I remember when I was buying those for under $1. So back into Twitter, you can see we're right into our 50 period. Your smoothing mechanism down here about 17.5. I mean, if this completely falls apart, you got a nice level there, and then we could see 16 again. I hope not. But anyway, back into Twitter, much smaller size, but got in to give myself a little exposure there. A couple other things I want to point out, as we do have FOMC tomorrow. TLT at a key price point here, so you got your TLT right at very key price point right there. 134, 133.75. We'll probably see some volatility right off the number tomorrow. Can't take advantage of that in options at the 8:30 before the 9:30 open, but I am looking to buy some calls in TLT, especially if it sort of falls apart. I also have exposure to a trade like that through GLD. This is just completely fallen apart. Our October 127 calls have a bunch of them at 45. Those are completely lottery tickets now, but I did get a bunch at around a dime. Today we're trading 7 by 9 cents. So the risk reward on this, and if those are familiar with these kinds of, these are the Octobers. So gold could probably go down another percent or a half, and these things would still hold at a nickel, because that's just the way this kind of stuff works. So these are full lotto tickets though, but TLT, GLD should have a decent amount of correlation. That's typically how they work. So Twitter, and then we're in our Mylan here as well. Mylan November 42.5 calls. Bought a little bit more today at 30 to lower our price point down to about 61 cents. This is an RS3 signal oversold. Clearly this chart looks terrible, but the separation from the moving averages is pretty significant. I'm suspecting though that we're going to just have continued decay, and we could potentially lose a lot of the next couple weeks as the market just sort of waits for earnings. But any kind of positive news, I really thought in here, honestly, at 38, that most of this, anyone who wanted to be a seller had sold, but clearly there were some more sellers, people bailing out today. So we're on the 42.5 calls. Like the risk reward there as well. Again, we're risking about $60 a contract to, I believe, make $2 or $3 a contract on what could easily be a very swift move back up to 42.5, 43. That would put those in the money. All right, and then the last one is looking at the pound. I don't trade this cross, but I did get involved today in the 6B futures. Start to build a position in the 6B futures, and also on a RS3 oversold signal. You can see that essentially when these get oversold on the daily, if you're quick, you get your little pops. So just looking for a pop back there. Those again on 6B, that's the futures contract, and I'm going to hold those. I just bought 2, looking to try to build a position of between 6 and 10. I'll even buy more if we scale around down here. That's what I'm looking to do, like the risk reward on the 6B. All right, we'll leave it there for now for tonight. If you'd like to find out more about how we do trade futures and options for daily income, it's not necessarily always a day trading room. There's plenty of ways in which you can just tune in for a little bit or get on our live feed so that you're aware of the options trades that we're making. You can find out more about that at vptlive.com. Oh, and I owe people an update on the 25 challenge. It's ugly. I did back off and sell some to get it down to about 28.50. So it started at 28.50, so it's really down more than what you see here. Well, it didn't start at 2,500, I should say. It started a little bit higher, and we had a couple of really nice trades right off the bat. But now we got open net losses of $1,900 on the same positions that I've been talking about, GLD and Mylan. So these again, sort of in the lotto ticket zone. So here they are on the 25 challenge. So we start with 2,500 each month, and we look to do our best to double it. Right now we're got our backs against the wall. We're about 700-800 in the hole. All right, but we do have some cash. Look for a new position. In fact, I've been trading around the IWM. I didn't look at that tonight, but IWM has been a position that I've been trading as well. I might look to get some of that in here. Let's look at that real quick. Sorry. Take a look at the IWM. Okay, it doesn't look that exciting on the daily, but if you come into the 30-minute, that's the 30-month, just 30 minutes. 124 half, I look to buy the 122 October puts. Been trading around the October 122 puts, and took them off today. I think we were buying those at, did them in the model portfolio. Let me take a look real quick. Orders, IWM. 124 puts, sorry, a little closer to the money. 124 puts, we sold them at 195 and 219, and I believe our cost basis on those were $1.45. So nice round trip on that, considering it looks like they closed around 155. So IWM 124 puts is the contract that I'm using to trade this channel that we've been trading in right here. So again, you look to be what's going on here? There we go. How about that? Template. Line. Draw a line. There we go. What is going on? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Drew a line. 124.55, and down here is where you are a seller. I don't know why this thing's acting so squirrely today. There we go. So a nice little range there between 123 and 124. That's unusual. I was on the 124s. I think I was on the 122s live, and I put the 124s in the model portfolio by accident. I'm usually 50 deltas. Those would be closer to the 50 or 60 delta at the time. All right, we will leave it there for now. This is Rod, VPT Live, reminding you always trade like you mean it. Again, be safe on the Eastern Coast. Have a great evening, and tomorrow we got FOMC. It should be a fun, exciting day. We'll see you at the next update. Thanks.